7:59, it's 17 degrees. Today, sunny and pleasant with a high of 35. Tonight, increasing clouds with a low of 26. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Tiff Pua. Police are looking for answers after two people are found dead in Waukesha. The Waukesha Sheriff's deputies got a call for a welfare check just before 10 a.m. on Friday to a home near Cider Hills Drive. Police found one person dead in the home and at the time didn't know where other family members were. Police then reported on Saturday that a second person was dead in the home. One person has been arrested on separate charges. The investigation is ongoing. The city of Milwaukee will be fined $1,000 a day until it installs school resource officers in Milwaukee Public Schools and meets specific requirements, including providing lists of which officers will be assigned to those schools. Milwaukee Police Association President Alexander Ayala tells WTMJ police have been responding to calls at MPS.
3,100 calls a school year. It was about 17 calls a day. You know, that's a big toll on the district that, you know, you constantly have to pull from the district or call from a different district. Well, if you have the SROs, you know, working in the areas and then dispatch to the schools, they can take care of those calls so that the districts can take care of the more important calls or the higher priority calls.
SROs are now required to be in Milwaukee Public School buildings by March 15. European leaders plus Canada's Prime Minister Trudeau are gathering in London with Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky. Despite the White House blow-up on Friday, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer says the U.S. will still need to participate in any agreement to end the war in Ukraine that the continent's leaders are still pursuing.
This Thursday, the moment of truth. Another European summit will be held in Brussels, where the European Commission is expected to announce a defense package for Europe, including Ukraine. The open questions: how much assistance, what kind of weapons, and whether it will be enough to counter Russia without the United States. Ramy Inocencio, CBS News, London.
Federal cuts are now affecting the National Weather Service and the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration.
WTMJ meteorologist Craig Copeland says any cuts to services like the National Weather Service would not be wise in these modern times.
Right now, and over the last 25 to 35 years or so, the weather and climate has changed more than ever before.
Copeland also warns that with fewer staff on hand, up-to-date information will seriously impact people's livelihoods during severe weather storms.
Seconds count, minutes count in dangerous situations like that, and that's, I think, what we're most worried about.
Sean Brenda, WTMJ News.
Dash cams can be a great tool for regular drivers, but for those in an industry constantly on the roads, it can be critical. MATC truck driving instructor Craig Plewa tells WTMJ that technology is even evolving beyond the standard dash cam.
They're actually eliminating the mirrors off the side of the trucks and having cameras so you can see inside the truck. You have no blind spots. You can see all the way around, and everything is recorded there too.
If a case gets to court, those recordings will help show if the incident was an intentional act. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 8:02.
Sponsored by AccuNet Mortgage.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender, NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Anti-Heartbreak Officer Brian Wickert. While national headlines talk about the inventory of homes for sale being a lot higher this year, that's still not the case in most of Wisconsin. The good news is that now, even in winter, AccuNet's experienced loan consultants are already helping many of our pre-approved home shoppers become homeowners and avoid the heartbreak of losing in a multi-offer situation. Sure, you can go with a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval, or you can present your offer with an AccuNet rock-solid, fully verified, and guaranteed pre-approval that also might come with the phrase that really makes sellers happy: no appraisal required. When an appraisal is needed, we can also show you in dollars and cents what it means to willingly pay a certain dollar amount over the appraised value if that's what's needed to win, which is usually a lot less scary than people imagine. Reduce your risk of home shopper heartbreak by getting started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Artwork, especially original artwork, can be pricey. But when you take it in on consignment from nice people like you who are just ready to change the look of their home, you can price it right. And you'll find a lot of it at Design Exchange. Beautiful frame pieces by a number of notable artists. And new ones pop in all the time. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
In Heartland, you're going to find a focus on distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original artwork, along with tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. In Pewaukee, the focus is on kitchen, outdoor, and garden decor. And all of it is priced at 25 to 40% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value.
Design Exchange.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Bucks are back with Giannis Antetokounmpo scoring 29 points and Damian Lillard pulling up 28 in the Bucks' defeat of the Dallas Mavericks 132-117. They get a break before heading to Atlanta to face the Hawks on Tuesday. And on the college hardwood, the number 11 Wisconsin men's basketball team are on the road to face number 8 Michigan State today at 12:30. The Lady Badgers travel to Iowa to face the Hawkeyes at 3 o'clock. Badger Sports Updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited Siding and a whole lot more. And the Brewers take on the Guardians today. They're currently 4-5 in Cactus League play. Our coverage starts at 1:55 today on WTMJ. Taking a look at your roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time-saver traffic, we've got one incident to report. It's at the end of the ramp from Barker Road to I-94 East. Now, the police are out, and they're carefully getting everything settled there, but traffic is moving through that area pretty smoothly. Just keep an eye on the police lights. And on 894 North at the ramp from Greenfield Avenue, the right shoulder is blocked due to a disabled vehicle, but the tow truck is out, so give them a wide berth as they get that area cleared up. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast today. Sunny and pleasant with a high of 35. Tonight, the clouds increase and we take the low down to 26. For your Monday, increasing clouds with a slight chance of rain, a high of 45. Tuesday, we've got spotty showers in the morning, then mostly cloudy, and then rain again in the afternoon, a high of 46. For your Wednesday, the rain turns into slow and it gets a little slushy with your high of 44. Thursday, mostly sunny with a high of 40. Right now in Madison, it's 16. In Waukesha, it's 15. In Green Bay, it's 17. And in Milwaukee, it's partly cloudy and 17 degrees. I'm Tiff Bua. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 8:06.
This is Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News with Libby Collins.
And a very good Sunday morning to you. We've got a busy show ahead. But Tiff, don't leave, because I want to talk to you for just a minute. This story about the welfare check that ended up as a discovery of 2 bodies. What more do we know about that? Because it's such a bizarre story.
So this is what we know that the Waukesha police have been reporting is that so they got this call on Friday morning to a home. They go inside and they find one person dead, but they don't know where the rest of the family members are. So we got a second update yesterday morning that said they found a second person in the home and that one person's been arrested, but it's on separate charges. And the police also say that there is no danger to the public at this time. Now, what we don't know is if it's a homicide or anything because the medical examiner and the police have not ruled it as that. So we're just waiting on more details.
And you mentioned somebody is in custody, but not on charges for this. Have they indicated that's a family member of the individuals who were found dead?
Not yet. So that's what we're still waiting on for information.
You know, what's kind of interesting is, we have that situation here in Waukesha. And of course, on Wednesday, there was the discovery of Gene Hackman and his wife. And that's still one of those stories that they're trying to figure out what happened. It's interesting to see that this happened in two places in a short amount of time.
Well, what we know additionally for the Gene Hackman investigation is that his pacemaker stopped 9 days before his body was found. So they're now looking into this as a death investigation because they're figuring there might be foul play, but they're looking at more details at this point. They also found his wife had mummification on outer parts of her limbs, and so this is more than just what the public initially thought was carbon monoxide poisoning. All of the investigations have shown that there were no signs of carbon monoxide in that home.
You know what's interesting, though, and as I'm kind of watching this, and I guess as everyone does, my own opinions are coming out, that it's almost as if Gene Hackman had some sort of a cardiac event and passed away. And this was a huge home. 6,000 square feet. There were a number of different buildings. One of the buildings that was connected to the home or part of the property was a place where Gene Hackman had his art studio because he was an artist. And his wife had a grand piano and had like a music room. And you just kind of wonder, with that kind of setup, if maybe he had gotten up one day, was going out for a walk or coming in from a walk, and she didn't find him right away.
Yeah, there's a lot of speculation, too.
Yeah, and if by any chance she found him, and of course they had no children together, she didn't have much contact with her mother. Apparently the last contact she had with her mother was a phone call in October, and her mother was suffering from dementia. But you just wonder if by any chance she discovered her husband was so emotional and overwrought that she may have tried to take something with these pills around that would have ended her own life. And you just wonder if that's going to be the scenario that they're going to find out eventually.
I'd be curious to see what the investigation provides. And the Oscars are tonight, so hopefully there'll be a lovely tribute to Gene Hackman. You know,
I'm sure there will be. Yeah, but and then the other part of that Gene Hackman story is what happened to that dog and how.
Correct, because there were other dogs that survived.
Yeah, but the one in the crate didn't. So yeah, I mean that's going to be one of those stories you are going to hear on TV. They'll be doing specials on it. There'll be datelines on it. There'll be celebrity autopsies. It's going to go everywhere you can imagine because it is such a mystery. Well, Tiff, you're going to be here with us throughout the morning, and I look forward to sharing more with you. And one other thing that's happening, and it's Wednesday, because that starts Lent. But the day before, there's a feast. And that feast involves a pastry so yummy, it deserves its own day. It's Punchki Day!
What's round, filled with deliciousness, and the star of Fat Tuesday? If you said punchki, you're right. This Polish pastry packs a punch of tasty goodness that's been around for a while.
Tradition has it that the day before Lent in Poland, all the households would gather up all their milk and eggs and butter and sugar, and they came up with this great Polish pastry called a punchki because they knew they were going to fast for Lent starting the next day.
National Bakery's co-owner Jeff Callan says it's not just another jelly donut.
Well, a punchki is a little bit richer dough that's used, and it's a little bit more dense and chewy than a regular jelly donut. On punchki, that's the only time of the year where we use all butter dough, which makes it really good when we mix in the different flavors with it.
And even though it started as a way to get rid of all that lavish stuff in the pantry, it's grown into something else.
Originally, it was heavily the Polish community, but with everything going on with Fat Tuesday and Punchki Day being so popular that we get people from really all over the state who come here for Punchki Day.
And what flavors can we look forward to? Well, National Bakery sticks to the basics.
We stick to the traditional flavors, raspberry, prune, and we have a raisin glaze. And each year we kind of add a new one where we do about 10% of, and this year it's going to be lemon with lemon icing on top.
So forget the gym, cancel your personal trainer appointments, and prepare for a sugar-fueled frenzy. It's Punchki time. Debbie Lazaga, WTMJ News.
Debbie gets all the fun stories, doesn't she? I'm Libby Collins of Wisconsin Weekend Morning News, and this morning we're going to be
I don't have to tell you that a lot of dust and other junk collects in your ductwork. And it doesn't just sit there. It's blowing around in your home. And that jeopardizes your home health. The commercial industrial duct cleaning system we use at Quality doesn't near suck the shirt right off our tech the first time you used it. Believe me, not everybody has this powerful of a system. It's unlike any other. At Quality, you get the best duct cleaning, period. So call Quality first for your duct cleaning needs.
For the signature service you deserve.
Whether it's 24/7 emergency service or it's just time to replace your furnace, at Quality we'll be out so fast you won't even notice the heat being off. And if you're buying a high-efficiency furnace from Armstrong or Carrier, you'll qualify for state and federal tax rebates that'll pay for a big chunk of the cost. This is Anthony Zanevsky from Quality, where you'll get the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
Hey boaters, cruise to Kendor Marine. We've got everything you need but the water. Got an old boat, a new boat in between. Kendor Marine, upholstery and parts, hard to find things. Kendor Marine. Hey boaters, cruise to Kendor Marine. We've got everything you need but the water. Everything you need but the water. Cruise to Kendor Marine, we've got everything you need but the water. Like a boat-loving kid in a candy store. Kendor Marine. If you have a question, we have the expertise at Kendor Marine. Hey, boaters, cruise to Kendor Marine. We've got everything you need but the water.
Easy to find at 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin or at kendormarine.com.
It was nothing but win, 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 win in Milwaukee sports today. That's right, 4 wins for Milwaukee teams. Brewers spring training in Arizona against the Texas Rangers ended with a staggering score of 9-5, and that all started with a 3-run homer from Bryce Terang in the first inning.
Walker at the belt, and his pitch, a fly ball into center. Backing up Evan Carter, he's still drifting onto the warning track, over the wall and gone.
We're coming together as a team, and we just playing better basketball. And we're doing things you have to do on the road, taking care of the ball, not fouling too much, rebounding, executing on offense. You have to do that on the road or you lose games, and we're starting to do that.
The Bucks are number 4 in the Eastern Conference, 10 games behind the Knicks, and are in Atlanta on Tuesday. Meanwhile, on the college basketball scene, as the season winds down, Marquette Golden Eagles men's basketball team beat Georgetown 76-61. The women's take on UConn later today. And the UW-Milwaukee Panthers finished their season against Detroit Mercy 89-67. They get the number 3 seed with a bye. Will face the highest winning seed in the Horizon League quarterfinals on Thursday. The women's team will get the 11 seed. In Madison, number 11 ranked Badgers men's basketball take on Michigan State in East Lansing today. Women's finish up their season in Iowa. Badger Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited, It's Siding, and a whole lot more. Jaslyn Snell, WTMJ Sports.
You are not Jaslyn Snell. You are sports jazz. I got to tell you, I love your enthusiasm. All right, this morning we're going to be talking about a 90th birthday celebration honoring a world-renowned chef at the Pfister. And are you aware there are actually 5 seasons in Wisconsin? There's winter, spring, summer, fall. And we're going to find out exactly what that 5th season is. Plus, Sandy Max is going to join us with Sunday What's on Tap with a preview of tonight's Oscar show. Tim Gibbons is here from the Milwaukee Business Journal in just a couple minutes, and he's going to tell us what's in store for Brookfield Square, where the old Boston store used to be. It's all ahead right here on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News. I'm Libby Collins, and it's 8:17 and 20 degrees.
When we're out in your town, come say hi to us as we broadcast live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
Anytime you hear us when we're out on the road, you can find us live from our brand new mobile studio.
Whether it be Summerfest, EAA, Opening Day, Air and Water Show,
wherever we may be, you can see us on the radio, live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
WTMJ.
The Census Bureau says more than 12,000 Americans turn 65 each day. It's a surge they call Peak 65, the highest number in history. Some Annex clients retire early. Some keep working because they love it. You know why? Because they've got custom plans built by fee-only fiduciaries. They identified their wants and needs, and we went to work. We want to do the same for you. Annex does financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Visit annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button.
I'm WTMJ's Sandy Max. What makes senior living at Three Pillars so special? Let's hear from Three Pillars resident Lola.
When I was new, I come in and sit down, and people join me. And you get to know people, talk about feeling welcome. Art class is first early in the morning. Right now, I'm also involved in being a production assistant with a theater group. Every month, they have a supper club with a different theme. First one that I went to, they had a luau. I am so lucky to have ended up in this place, and I think it's one of the best things that ever happened to me.
Schedule a tour today at threepillars.org.
What we've found is that when you have workers who feel valued, you get better results. And
And we're going to make sure you feel important and valued too, with excellent customer service and high quality work.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
It's time to check in on our Siding Unlimited talk and text line with Timothy Gibbons. He, of course, is the editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal. And Tim, last week you broke a story about the Boston store at Mayfair and Shields Sporting coming in there. And this week you've got some information about that old Boston store property in Brookfield.
People are talking a lot about those old Boston stores. So yeah, Brookfield Square Mall had an old Boston store. It's been demolished, but it's owned by a company called Ergens, who on Thursday rolled out their new vision for the site. The new vision they have for it has a couple of different pieces. One big piece of it is a medical office building. There's also 2 retail buildings. And then the exciting bit, at least the exciting bit if you like sitting outside drinking beer, is plans for a green space with a beer garden. The focus is on walkability. The focus is on kind of making it a community gathering place for Brookfield, which is something the developer says doesn't exist in the city right now.
Oh, that sounds really interesting. Certainly exciting for the city of Brookfield. Now, let's talk about something else happening with more construction, and that's at the airport where they're talking about a big cargo hub. Tell us about that one.
Right. I think we've talked before about my geekier interests, and air cargo is probably not something that your listeners spend a lot of time thinking about, but it is fascinating, I promise you. So here's what they're trying to do is a company called Crow out of Houston is looking to build a cargo logistics hub at the airport. You think about everything that moves around. We have stuff that comes into the country by ship. We have stuff that comes in by air. We move stuff around by truck and by train and by airplane. This is trying to make Milwaukee more of a player on that air cargo space. Right now, Chicago obviously is a big major air cargo player. This idea is that it would make Milwaukee part of that mix in a new way. $75 million for the cargo facility. The airport is also looking at spending about $10 million to improve its taxiways, which is a necessary thing. If you have more planes coming in, you need more space for them to operate in.
That's exciting as well. All right, let's talk about some jobs. Apparently, Brady Corporation has some good news for the people of Milwaukee.
Yeah, good news for its Milwaukee operations, not necessarily good news for people across the company. So Brady Corporation is based here in Milwaukee. It's reducing its headcount by closing plants in Buffalo and in China. It's also laying off some employees in Europe. As with many manufacturers, that move comes as the company's kind of looking at its global footprint, trying to figure out where it should be operating, where its sales are strong, where things should be made. So sales are down in Europe. It was a little bit softer for the company, and that's one reason why they're making these changes. The employees in Buffalo, there's going to be 115 who have their jobs phased out over the next year and a half. This comes as the company has already been kind of winding down production at that facility. Now, here locally, the company said at the end of last year that they plan to expand its campus, growing it by 60,000 square feet and adding 60 employees. So those workers will work on various projects in the sign making and pipe marking production lines. So it's good to see the workforce here growing, even if it's hard for workers elsewhere in the company.
We're talking with Timothy Gibbons. He is the editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal. Going back to what you just said about Brady Corp, they're closing operations in places like China, other places in Europe. And you see a lot of moves with companies because of these proposed tariffs and their businesses outside of the United States. Now, what about Husco? Because there's some uncertainty about what they're going to be doing.
So the tariff question is the question on the minds of many, many companies in the Milwaukee area, particularly in the manufacturing space. There are companies here who have productions both here domestically and in Mexico, for example, and they might ship products back and forth across that border half a dozen times during the production process. So it's not as simple as those jobs could be here and instead they're overseas. A lot of times it's a network of things. So Husco has been looking at building a new plant in Mexico. It has basically said that it is pausing its thinking on that. When you think about these plants, they're major capital investments, both in terms of the actual money being spent, building the plant, putting the equipment hiring people. And then also just from a strategic standpoint, it's a lot of work to go through the effort of doing that. So with the uncertainty that is gripping the market right now, Husco is basically saying, okay, let's see how things shake out, and then they'll make their moves. There's also the question of what happens to electric vehicles. Husco has added capacity in its EV production facilities. Electric vehicle sales flattened out last year. One of the Trump administration policies that's being discussed is repealing a tax credit that helps fund the purchase of electric vehicles. So if that happens, the expectation is that EV sales would drop further. A lot of uncertainty makes it hard to make those decisions. So Husco is just kind of sitting tight for a moment.
You've got a story about the increase of rise to build rent. Now, what exactly does that mean?
So this is keying off a story on the Willow Run Golf Club in Pewaukee, where there's been plans for residential development there for a bit, but those plans have changed recently. The project is underway by a company in Delafield called Land by Label Development. And the original proposal had been 300 apartments, 160 family, single-family homes that would be sold. The project now has about 283 apartments. It still includes 160 homes being built for sale. That's going to be done by a third party. What Land by Label would do is build 42 for-rent homes. So build to rent is the term in the industry. It's been on the rise nationally for the past couple years, a lot of times by really big companies. And there are some smaller companies that, like Land by Label, that are getting into this space, basically saying, look, we're building what looks like a typical residential development, but from the get-go, we're going to build these houses and planning on renting them out, not selling them to an end buyer.
Isn't that interesting? So there is an increase of people who want to live in a home, but they don't want to have the mortgage.
Exactly. So the buy or rent question is such a fascinating one. Depending on your circumstances, the question might not be as easy to answer as just buying is financially better than renting. You look at across the country, home insurance is going up. You look at the cost of money to get a mortgage. Interest rates have been high for the past several years. At some point, people are saying either they can't afford that 20% down or even 10% down, or they just don't want the hassle. They don't want to have to deal with all of the things that come with home ownership. They just want a place to live.
I think a lot of people are in that boat these days. Timothy Gibbons, editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal. Thanks for joining us this morning.
It was great to be here. Thanks a bunch.
It's going to be sunny and pleasant today with a high of 35 degrees. It's now 20 degrees at 8:26 on WTMJ. And coming up in just a minute, Bill Studd with Everyday Hero.
Hey, John Mercure here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. Their mission is to transform the culture of care. They specialize in caring for those with early to late-stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia symptoms, memory care issues. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. I've been in their places. I love how they deal with people. It's about compassion and empathy at Azura. Kindness is at their core. 14 locations from the Mississippi to Lake Michigan, 4 here in the Milwaukee area. Wisconsin-based and family-owned. It's about kindness and care. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living.
Hi, folks. This is Hank Albert, owner of BBC Lighting. At BBC, we sell all the top brands of lights and ceiling fans, such as Visual Comfort, Tech, Schoenbeck Crystal, and hundreds more. We get every brand, and our prices are the lowest. I guarantee it. In our award-winning showroom, you'll also find factory closeouts with lights and fans priced well below their original cost. If it's lampshades or repairs you need, we do all that too. There's something for everyone at BBC, including fun for the kids and our famous free popcorn. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday, 10 to 4, and located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue, across from Sobelman's, near the Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
Do you know or work with kids who have special healthcare needs? Help them live their best lives. Contact Wisconsin Wayfinder Children's Resource Network. Our specialists will connect you with services in your area. Wisconsin Wayfinder is free and confidential. Call 877-947-2929 or visit dhs.wi.gov/WISCWAY. Connect today. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
8:28. It's time to recognize another everyday hero. Here's WTMJ's Eric Bilstead.
On Wisconsin's Morning News, we identify an everyday hero as an average John or Jane Doe who had no idea when they got up one morning they'd be saving a life. Today we head to Wayne Township, New Jersey. Tracy Delator and her husband were at their home one evening when they noticed their son was gone.
On Friday, February 14th at 6:40 p.m., our 11-year-old son Matthew, who is autistic and nonverbal, escaped from our house. After a few minutes of looking for him, I called 911.
The cops were there immediately. Dogs were there, drones. One report said there were like 100 people looking for Matthew, who again was nonverbal, autistic, and it was cold out.
So when Matthew's clothes get wet, he takes them off. He hates wearing wet clothes. He realized that his feet were
Tracy told the Wayne Township Council that her son would take off all his clothes if they were wet, and he basically did. He was in a sweatshirt and nothing else. He ended up 90 minutes later in someone's backyard. That's where 13-year-old Christopher McHale comes in.
Christopher McHale was in his bedroom when he heard sounds coming from his backyard, and it was Matthew.
Christopher told his mom, Andrea, that there was something happening outside. He could hear something, so they went and checked.
Andrea turned on the outside light, and that's when they saw Matthew sitting in the snow with just a sweatshirt on. And his sweatshirt was pulled over his knees to his toes because he was freezing.
The family immediately brought the boy in, treated him as if he were their own. They got him clothes, towels. Christopher even turned on a cartoon for him. Tracy says Christopher could have just ignored the sounds that he heard outside and went back to whatever he was doing. But he didn't.
If not for Christopher's quick thinking, I don't know what the outcome would have been, because Matthew was 70 pounds. It was 30 degrees that night. He had only a sweatshirt on, and he was already out there for an hour and 20 minutes. Time was not on our side. Christopher saved Matthew's life. Christopher is a true hero. Thank you.
The 13-year-old was recently honored at the Wayne Township Council meeting. The mayor was there and the police chief, who told him,
in about 10 or 11 years, if you want a job, you want to be a police officer, we could use some good men and women. I don't know what your plans are for the future.
Officer Christopher McHale has a nice ring to it. Thank you, Christopher, for being an everyday hero. For more, you can text the word HERO to the WTMJ Siding Unlimited talk and text line 855-616-1620. Everyday Heroes, sponsored by Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, transforming the culture of care. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
That was quite a story, and Eric does so well highlighting these everyday heroes every week. We're coming up to 8:31, and we've got Tiff Pua in the WTMJ Breaking News Center, and you've got a story, Tiff, about a former law enforcement officer who's going to be spending a long time on the other side of those bars.
That is absolutely correct, Libby. A former Racine County Sheriff's deputy is getting prison time for child pornography and bestiality. 38-year-old Preston Kite of Union Grove was sentenced to 65 years in prison for 45 felony counts of child sexual exploitation, exposing himself to a child, possession of child pornography, and bestiality across 2 cases in Racine County. Kite was arrested on February 4th after a 911 call that he was exposing himself to someone in a Racine County truck stop bathroom. He was on duty and in uniform at the time. He was eventually fired. The child pornography investigation also resulted in the arrests of 30-year-old Jacob Boudreau of Appleton and 21-year-old Noah Thiel of Oconomowoc. Boudreau is serving 15 years in prison, while Thiel was given a year behind bars after pleading guilty to the bestiality crimes. Former Outagamie County's Human Resource Department's Adam Westbrook also faces a federal child pornography count in these cases. 3 people are injured after 2 separate shootings overnight in Milwaukee. The first happened just after 12:30 this morning near 12th and North on Milwaukee's north side. A 26-year-old was taken to the hospital with injuries. The second happened at 1:45 this morning near Appleton and 91st by Timmerman Airport. A 35-year-old and a 37-year-old were also taken to the hospital. Police are looking for unknown suspects in both shootings. And Israel says it's stopping the entry of all goods and supplies into the Gaza Strip, warning of, quote, additional consequences if Hamas doesn't accept what Israel says is a U.S. proposal for a ceasefire extension. Hamas accuses Israel of trying to derail the fragile truce. The first phase of the Israel-Hamas ceasefire, which included a surge in humanitarian assistance, expired on Saturday. Taking a look at your roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. We've got 2 incidents to report. The first is I-94 West, 2 miles beyond the ramp for Highway 100. The left shoulder is blocked due to a disabled vehicle, but traffic is moving smoothly through that area. The other is 894 North at the ramp from Greenfield Avenue. The right shoulder is blocked due to a disabled vehicle there, but the tow trucks are out, so give them wide space so they can finish their work. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Today is sunny and pleasant with a high of 35. Tonight, increasing clouds with a low of 26. For your Monday, increasing clouds with a slight chance of rain, a high of 45. Tuesday, we've got spotty showers in the morning, then mostly cloudy, then rain likely in the afternoon, a high of 46. For your Wednesday, rain turns into slow with a little bit of slush coming around, a high of 44. And for your Thursday, mostly sunny with a high of 40. Right now in Cedarburg, it's 17. In Jefferson, it's also 17. In Milwaukee, it's mostly cloudy and 19 degrees. I'm Tiff Bua. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 8:35.
Thanks so much, Tiff. In just 2 minutes, it's the Week in Review, brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
We've saved our clients over $19 million in real estate commission. I say this because that's a pretty big number. But at Century 21 Benefit Realty, it's really not about being a top volume agency. Over here, it's more about you. And at 1.9% commission and no more than $19,000 commission, for the listing side of your sale, no matter what size property you're selling, you will save substantially. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. First off, our 1.9% commission structure helps get their foot in the door, and that's why agents like working here. But what they really like is having the strongest marketing tools available, with the resources to help them sell homes at the highest prices to satisfy their clients. Century 21 Benefit Realty offers what agents like most, and that's to help them be successful. If you really want to believe in the business model that you're representing, give me a call. I'm Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty. Call me, and let's talk about your future. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Are you looking for a new car or truck? Well, good news. Inventories have really improved lately, and I have a few ideas to help you find the vehicle of your dreams. I'm Jim Token, president of Adam, the Auto Dealers Association of Metro Milwaukee. The first step to getting that car of your dreams is to visit any of the 115 Adam member dealerships, where you can see their selection in person and take test drives. You can also find out about the new cars they have on order and reserve the one you want. Or if you really want to get the exact car you're dreaming of, they can order it for you. It might take a few weeks for delivery, but hey, wouldn't it be nice to have the perfect vehicle built just for you? This is your chance. Plus, if you're thinking of trading in your current car or ending your lease early, you'll be amazed at what dealers are offering. And if you prefer to handle the negotiations and paperwork remotely, no problem. Most Adam dealers will even bring cars to you for test drives. So don't wait. Start your search now. Find an Adam member dealer near you at adamm.com.
Welcome back to the second half hour of Wisconsin Weekend Morning News. I'm Libby Collins. It's 8:37, 20 degrees, as Tiff was telling you. It's going to be sunny day. We're going to get up to about 35. Well, this past week, there was a Pope watch in the Vatican. There was a confrontation in the Oval Office, and there was an irate judge who reprimanded the city of Milwaukee. But there was so much more, too. It's the Week in Review, brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
What we do here is go.
Beep, beep. The Vatican saying the 88-year-old Pope showed slight improvement but remains in critical condition after suffering a prolonged asthmatic respiratory crisis over the weekend. Cardinals and the faithful gathering in St. Peter's Square.
I don't know what to pray for. I hope he's not suffering.
If you've been walking around downtown Milwaukee this weekend, you may have noticed some peculiar bipeds, colorful, walking around the Baird Center. Those are furries.
Can a furry ever dress as a human?
I've had a friend bring that up, and honestly, I'm not ready to go into skin suiting.
I got bit by one.
and I liked it.
2 people are hurt after an argument leads to a Madison City bus crashing into a restaurant.
The female passenger became so upset when she learned that the bus was not going to her desired destination that she began attacking the driver, causing him to lose control of the vehicle.
The Iron District, there's something going on in the Iron District that could start this summer.
We are backing this bear development. There's a lot of other parties involved as well, this Iron District soccer stadium project.
We are playing football.
The district says student data was not impacted, but that a security breach at Racine Unified did affect the staff's personal information.
A man from Pewaukee missing in the Puerto Rican rainforest for 3 days has been found.
We are so thankful to the guard and all those Puerto Rican people who did all the work, and he's doing wonderful right now.
President Trump will host his first full cabinet meeting of his second term, and he is inviting his most powerful advisor, Elon Musk.
It's an honor to have you. He's been a tremendously successful guy.
I'm confident at this point, knock on wood, knock on my wooden head, there's got a lot of wood up there, that we can actually find $1 trillion in savings.
Randy Knaflick of Milwaukee was the VP of HR at SpaceX in 2012.
Elon was very intense, and so you always had to be on your game, and if you weren't, watch out.
Well, I did say people were going to die.
The Florida Man Game.
Live the headlines without the jail time. That's the founding principle of the Florida Man Games. Pete Melfi is the event's founder.
I was born and raised here. We embrace our weird.
Well, it ain't the Olympics.
Breaking news overnight from New Mexico. Legendary actor Gene Hackman, his wife, and their dog all found dead.
Hackman was found in the mudroom of the home, appearing to have suddenly fallen.
Officials say the Hoosiers star and his wife had likely been dead for weeks.
A murder-suicide inside a home in Franklin.
We have 2 PMV, 1 confirmed gunshot wound to the head. We're going to have to continue to clear the residence.
The year was 1968. Al Flowers was just a boy when he went off to war. He was trying to escape the housing projects of Chicago when the Marines caught his eye.
I knew this would get me away from the danger of the streets of Chicago. Little did I know that things would get considerably more dangerous down the road.
I'm finding the city of Milwaukee in contempt of my prior order.
The city argued that putting officers in schools before training would be a risk to taxpayers and the school. But Judge Borowski saw things a bit differently.
How anyone could dream up a risk to the taxpayers, I don't understand.
My mother-in-law, Diane, passed away this week at the age of 86. I was blessed over the last 40-plus years of having a bonus mom and dad who were always there for Kathy and I. We're all going to miss you, but you'll never be forgotten by all of us who loved you so much. Diane and Dreska, you will be missed.
Lopez drives down the lane, flushes it through with a foul! Oh, be nice, big fella.
Now it's go time. You're gambling with World War III.
President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance got caught up in a heated exchange with Ukrainian President Zelensky in the Oval Office.
What you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III.
That meeting went just about as poorly as it possibly could.
I'm in the middle of a mess.
What are we, gay?
Skin suiting.
They're having a fur ball.
Beep, beep.
Take care. Goodbye.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
And that is the Weekend Review, brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited. I'm Libby Collins. It's 8:41. Coming up next, we've got some info for you about watching your identification information when you file your taxes. It's all ahead on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News.
Save on the best quality furniture and mattresses during the President's Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture. With major discounts from our premier suppliers, you will save big bucks on top brands like Bradenton Young, made in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Bradenton Young is known for its fine quality leather upholstery. Yours brings you modern Scandinavian design recliners and sofas, ergonomically engineered for more hip and back support. Norwalk, with American roots that go back over 100 years, specializes in making furniture just for you. Choose the piece, style, fabric, or leather you want, and in just 35 days, we'll deliver your new sofa, chair, or sectional. In stock or special orders are all sale priced. Need a little help putting it all together? At Ken Michaels Furniture, our design staff is ready to help you with your purchases. And it's free. Stop in today and save now during the President's Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Before you go looking for an area rug that you'll have to settle for because you think that the one you really want will be out of your budget, come to Design Exchange, where you'll find a formidable selection of Oriental, Persian, and other wool area rug choices at 25 to 70% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
If you're trying to find really good, high-end, distinctive furniture, the kind they just don't make anymore, then come to Design Exchange. But you better get here quickly, because the best furniture we take in on consignment doesn't usually last long. It may be vintage, it may have once been out of your range, but now you'll find it's priced right. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value.
Design Exchange.
Nobody likes to hear the words tax season is here. But there's one other thing you need to avoid and be aware of, and that is tax-related identity theft. And joining us to tell us more is Michelle Reinen, our consumer expert from DATCAP. And Michelle, you're hearing from a lot of consumers who are getting their identity stolen, and it all has to do with their taxes.
Absolutely. Whether it's stolen or there's just concerns about it being stolen, tax time and tax season is one of those times we need to be on high alert from identity thieves, because they will attempt to steal consumers' tax returns by filing their stolen information. And while nothing can really guarantee protection from identity theft, there are some preventative measures we hope consumers will take advantage of. And that is setting up an identity protection PIN with the IRS at irs.gov and the Wisconsin Department of Revenue at revenue.wi.gov. These IP PIN numbers add an extra layer of security to consumers' tax filings by preventing someone else from filing a tax return in their name, even if they have someone's personal information. So please go out and get that PIN number if you haven't done so in the past, and be sure you use it when filing your tax returns this season to get your return rather than an identity thief having access to it.
And there's another important element, Michelle, and that is when you have those bills and bank statements and receipts and maybe even past income tax returns that you don't need any longer, what should you do with those documents?
Please shred any unneeded documents. Don't just discard them and throw them in the recycle pile. We need you to shred those documents so no one pieces that information together. And then take some extra measures as it relates to tax ID theft. File early and securely. Don't store your sensitive data on your device, whether it's tax season or any season. Don't store it there. Back it up and get it off the computer. And protect your mail. And finally, place that security freeze on your credit report if you haven't done so already. It's free. It locks things down with the 3 major credit reporting agencies, and it keeps the hands off your credit report from identity thieves.
And another element to that is those credit card offers that you haven't solicited. Those can really be held against you if you put them in the wrong place.
Yeah, that's a great point. Minimize those. Go to optoutprescreen.com so you just don't even receive those pre-approved offers in the mail, which, if someone got their hands on, as you said, can be detrimental to your identity.
And finally, Michelle, if you ever have questions about some of the things you're getting in the mail or email or phone calls, and you think maybe there's something suspicious, who should we call?
Call Consumer Protection Hotline at 1-800-422-7128.
It's going to be sunny and pleasant today, a high of 35 degrees. We have 21 at 8:47, and in 1 minute, it's Sports Jazz on WTMJ.
How was your drive to school?
Let me tell you, I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just announced a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm so excited. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then, someone started calling me and...
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, Your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected. Your floor mats are cleaned and delivered. And your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
It was nothing but win, 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 win in Milwaukee sports yesterday. That's right, 4 wins for Milwaukee teams. Brewer spring training in Arizona against the Texas Rangers ended with a staggering score of 9-5. The Brewers take on the Cleveland Guardians at 2 today. Our next broadcast will be tomorrow at 7 against the other Ohio team in the Cincinnati Reds. But the Brew Crew weren't the only Milwaukee team to get a W from a DFW team. Last night, the Bucks took the American Airlines Center by storm, beating the Mavericks 132-117. The Bucks are number 4 in the Eastern Conference, 10 games behind the Knicks, and are in Atlanta on Tuesday. Meanwhile, in college basketball, as the season winds down, Marquette Golden Eagles men's team beat Georgetown 76-61. The women's team takes on UConn later today. And the UW Milwaukee Panthers finish their season against Detroit Mercy 89-67. They get the 3 seed with a bye and will face the highest winning seed in the Horizon League quarterfinals on Thursday. Milwaukee's team will get the 11 seed. In Madison, the number 11 ranked Badgers men's basketball take on Michigan State in East Lansing today. Women's finish up their season in Iowa. Badger Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more. Jaslyn Snell, WTMJ Sports.
It's so exciting to have Sports Jazz on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News. Hey, Jazz, are you looking forward to the Oscars tonight?
I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure I really care because there's not a lot of movies that I've seen except for Wicked.
Oh, okay. Did you like that one?
I did like it. I got to go with my mom during Thanksgiving weekend, and we had a great time because I had never seen the musical, and she's a big fan.
Yeah, see, I haven't seen that one yet. The one movie I did see was Conclave, and with, of course, you know, us
I've been interested
being
in that
very
one.
concerned. It was fascinating, and with everyone concerned about the Pope and his health right now, it's probably even more topical than it would be at other times. But I am looking forward to it, and you know who's really looking forward to it is our own Sandy Max, and we're going to have Sunday What's on Tap coming up right after this on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News.
Whatever you want to call this season, we're over it. Time to look forward to
Fly ball, right field. It is deep. It is gone.
spring training is finally here and back on the radio.
It is up and it is gone. A walk-off homer for Vinny Capra.
Make sure to catch our next spring training broadcast as the Brewers take on the Guardians Sunday at 1:55. No matter the season, we are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
When your pipes burst, water heater's leaking, drains backing up, or whatever your plumbing problem is, the reliable plumbers at Quality are on hand 24/7 to fix your plumbing problem with fully stocked vehicles and lightning-fast response times. This is Anthony Zanevsky. Call Quality first and get the signature service you deserve to fix your plumbing problem ASAP.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. I don't have to tell you that a lot of dust and other junk collects in your ductwork. And it doesn't just sit there. It's blowing around in your home. And that jeopardizes your home health. The commercial industrial duct cleaning system we use at Quality darn near sucked the shirt right off our tech the first time he used it. Believe me, not everybody has this powerful of a system. It's unlike any other. At Quality, you get the best duct cleaning, period. So call Quality first for your duct cleaning needs.
For the signature service you deserve.
Siding Unlimited, named the best window installers, not just here, but in the whole USA. Get the best. Siding Unlimited, 5-time winner as America's best window installer. For windows, you call Siding Unlimited first and directly. SidingUnlimited.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Kiss me good, I'm defying gravity.
Well, she's back. It's time to check in with Sandy Max with our Sunday What's on Tap. And Sandy, this is a huge entertainment day because tonight it's the Oscars, and you know all about what's going to happen.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I'm more excited about the Oscars than the Super Bowl, which is not like a lot of people, I know, even though the Super Bowl had a very artistic halftime show with Kendrick Lamar, and we got to see Willem Dafoe in the commercials. But this is more my speed. I'm willing to spend 4 hours in real time watching the Academy Awards.
I don't know about you, but I like to check out what everybody's wearing.
Oh, yeah.
with some of the pre-shows, with the red carpet.
Well, it's all the glam. You know, this is kind of the old Hollywood. As much as everybody says, oh, it's just celebrities patting each other on the back, it is the movie machine. This is Hollywood. This is seeing people get dressed up. And what's the fashion faux pas that somebody makes with the world's biggest collar and you don't want to sit behind them during the ceremony, you know, or the nearly nude outfit, or the men like, ooh, who's going to wear a paisley suit? You know, it's the eye candy of this ceremony and celebration. And there's some of the criticism of the Academy Awards is it really is political and it's about the big movies, but it's also your chance to strut your stuff on the red carpet and wear that outlandish thing so you can get noticed and get hired for another film.
No, this is true. So let's talk about some of those movies and the actors involved. Now, a lot of people have been talking about the Best Actress category and who it might be. And what are your thoughts on that one?
I'm going to tell you, I checked the Las Vegas odds, and Demi Moore is the favorite for The Substance. She won the Golden Globe, she won the SAG Awards, and Oscars love a comeback. And there are 2 comeback stories, and one of them is Demi Moore. And a lot of people feel like she's been overlooked. She was very outspoken in the 90s about pay equity. So she's been that person who's risked her career in a lot of ways and done a variety of roles. So I think a lot of people are rooting for Demi Moore. And the other funny thing to me is I can't believe that The Substance is nominated for Best Picture. I mean, it's a horror movie. But have you seen it?
Not yet, but I've heard all about it.
Are you curious to see The Substance?
Absolutely. I don't know why I haven't watched it yet, but
because
yeah, I really am because I like Demi Moore.
Gross. That might be why you haven't watched it. I had to read the Wikipedia plot summary. Yes, because I thought I would only be able to last like 17 minutes into the film after reading the Wikipedia. I mean, it is a horror movie with blood and gore, especially at the end. But it's nominated for so much, I'm like, I can't not watch it. Libby, I made it 1 hour and 49 minutes into the movie. It's a 2 hour and 20-minute movie. I thought I would have to tap out 17 minutes in. It's a really sharp, smart, stylish film that unfortunately I will never see the last half hour because it's so disgusting.
Well, I'll be sure when I watch it not to have any popcorn around.
Exactly.
It doesn't sound like I'd want to be munching on anything. All right, let's move on to something we might enjoy more, and that would be the Best Actor. Who do you have your money on?
That is a tough one. I think everybody thinks that Adrien Brody is going to win for The Brutalist, the big 3-hour film all about an architect. He does an incredible job. But Timothée Chalamet as Bob Dylan in A Complete Unknown, and if he wins, he'll be the youngest winner of Best Actor in a Leading Role. I think Timothée Chalamet is a strong, strong favorite. And I saw the film. He's excellent in it.
We're all looking at the Best Picture for the year. And any thoughts on that? Because one movie I did see and I really enjoyed was Conclave. Does it have a chance, or
yes.
Who do you think is going to get that top prize?
Conclave has a big chance because it just won at the SAG Awards for cast, and it has a stellar cast, and it's gotten a lot of buzz, and I think it has a strong chance. But there are 9 other films: Anora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Dune Part 2, Amelia Perez, which got a lot of buzz early, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked. So that's a pretty packed list of nominees. But I think Conclave has a really strong chance.
You know, it's interesting. In the 3 categories we talked about, you didn't mention anybody from Wicked. But we'll wait and see. Now, there's a new host this year, and I've always loved Conan O'Brien. What's the word on him? Is he going to do a good job?
Actually, yes. Because think about it. He manages to be witty without ever really being mean. And he's very self-deprecating. So, you know, he'll be the first to say, hey, look at me and my 6 feet gangly body up here trying to dance. You know, like he'll be the first to poke fun at himself while also poking fun at others. So I think there's a real congeniality to Conan O'Brien. And he's got a great sense of humor. He's going to get the Mark Twain Prize for humor in a couple of months. So I think he's also very respected after all these years. So I think he'll do a good job. He's joked around that he's gotten advice from Jimmy Kimmel, who's hosted 3 or 4 times. And Jimmy Kimmel's, one of his advice was, it's a long night. Reserve your energy. Tell some of your jokes sitting down. So,
well, I will say this. Jimmy Kimmel is the reason I haven't watched much Oscars over the last couple of years. So I'm excited about Conan O'Brien. On a much darker note, obviously this week we heard about the surprising and very tragic passing of Gene Hackman. Do you think they're going to do some sort of a tribute to him because he has such a great history of the films that he was in?
What a breadth of work. Absolutely. I thought immediately upon the news that, okay, somebody's going to be scrambling behind the scenes at the Academy Awards to update the in memoriam sequence. So he'll be included there. But a larger tribute, you are right. I mean, what a breadth of film work, whether it's Hoosiers, The French Connection, Royal Tannenbaums, like all of these movies come to mind, and everybody's got a favorite role, and he was just so impactful. And he won an Oscar for The Unforgiven. I think he won a second Oscar and was nominated for Mississippi Burning, and I don't see how you can ignore his impact at the Academy Awards this year. And I think another sobering aspect to this, Libby, is I know they're going to be devoting time to the California wildfires that happened last month and the first responders.
Yeah, that seems so long ago. There's so much that's happened since those fires, but you're right. I'm sure they'll be talking about that as well. Well, Sandy, I know you are going to keep an eye on it. And of course, we listen to you during the week on What's on Tap. And what do you plan for this week?
Well, we're about to lean all the way into Women's History Month, Libby, and women here in Wisconsin know how to celebrate. I'm going to be interviewing some of the local brewmasters who have a Women's History Month special beer.
I don't know what that's going to taste like, but we'll be listening to that. Sandy Max, thanks so much for being here with us today, and we'll be listening to you this week on What's on Tap.
Prost.
It's 9 o'clock, and right after the news with Tiff Pua, we're going to be talking about a very special chef. You know the name, and he's being honored here in Milwaukee. It's all ahead of Wisconsin Weekend Morning News.
Blaine's Farm and Fleet Spring Workwear event is going on now, and we have a great selection of quality workwear styles at unbeatable prices. Like 30% off men's work and sport pocket tees, $10.49 each. Save $10 on Ariat Rebar Made Tough work pants. New at Blaine's, men's brunch workwear apparel, 25% off. Plus, earn $30 in Carhartt bucks for every $125 spent on Carhartt gear. We've got the value you need to do things your way. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Being original.
This change has leveled us up while being able to maintain the same quality of service that we've always provided, with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission. We're proud to be part of the Century 21 family, so you can move fearlessly with the added confidence of top-of-the-line marketing for maximum home exposure. And that means more eyeballs and the real potential for the highest price for your home. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. With the ability to market luxury homes on a higher scale than ever before, Century 21 Benefit Realty has taken a huge step forward to tap into a global network of buyers. Maximum exposure to spotlight your unique home with our fine homes and estates marketing so you can sell it for the highest price. And with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission, you win. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
For over a century, local radio has evolved with the needs of the community. From politics to pop culture, we keep you informed, bringing you the most relevant news, online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Your trusted and relevant source for news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 9:03, it's 21 degrees. Today, sunny and pleasant with a high of 35. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Tiff Pua. Police are looking for answers after 2 people are found dead in Waukesha. Waukesha County Sheriff's deputies got a call for a welfare check just before 10 a.m. on Friday to a home near Cider Hills Drive. Police found one person dead in the home, and they didn't know at the time where the other family members were. Police updated a report on Saturday that a second person was found dead in that home. One person has been arrested on separate charges. That investigation is ongoing. As the city of Milwaukee scrambles to get school resource officers in place, the Milwaukee Police Department has been ready for months. The Milwaukee Police Association's president, Alexander Ayala, tells WTMJ News that officers are fully trained.
So we already are going to the schools. We're already doing the job. So why not place the officers in the schools, and then whenever the training is available, we can go get trained. But it's not a necessary or a must-have as long as they eventually get the training.
Milwaukee County Circuit Judge David Borowski found the city in contempt for not installing the SROs in time and is staying a $1,000 a day fine until March 15, when he expects the officers to be assigned and placed in schools. Growing concern that tariffs on trading partners will hurt the U.S. economy. ABC's Alexis Christoforous.
We're talking about perishable items like fresh fruits and vegetables, including avocados, tomatoes, bell peppers, also baked goods, cereals and pasta, as well as beef and some seafood from Canada. And if you're in the market for a new car, analysts say the tariffs could add up to at least $3,000 more on that price. That includes, by the way, domestic cars.
Tariffs on goods from Canada, Mexico, and China are set to start on Tuesday, March 4th. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer says Britain, France, and the Ukraine have agreed to work on a ceasefire plan to present to the U.S. European leaders, including Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, assembled in London to discuss ending the war 2 days after talks between Zelensky and President Trump broke down in dramatic fashion. The Prime Minister told the BBC he believes the U.S. president wants a durable peace in Ukraine and repeated his assertion that American security guarantees will be needed to make it stick. Here we go again. If you've noticed, construction has been at a minimum since the holidays. Not so much anymore.
With the $41.4 million greenlit from the state, the DOT has slated that for a rehab project along I-41 between Burleigh and Silver Spring. Along with resurfacing, they'll be working on various ramps, noise walls, multiple bridges, and doing lighting work. They'll be starting with overnight long-term closures right away on March 1st, with ramp closures as needed. The whole job is expected to wrap up by late summer of 2026. Debbie Laziga, WTMJ News.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is coming up on 9:06.
Sponsored by Accunet Mortgage.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender, NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Anti-Heartbreak Officer Brian Wickert. While national headlines talk about the inventory of homes for sale being a lot higher this year, that's still not the case in most of Wisconsin. The good news is that now, even in winter, Accunet's experienced loan consultants are already helping many of our pre-approved home shoppers become homeowners and avoid the heartbreak of losing in a multi-offer situation. Sure, you can go with a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval, or you can present your offer with an Accunet rock-solid, fully verified, and guaranteed pre-approval that also might come with the phrase that really makes sellers happy: no appraisal required. When an appraisal is needed, we can also show you in dollars and cents what it means to willingly pay a certain dollar amount over the appraised value if that's what's needed to win, which is usually a lot less scary than people imagine. Reduce your risk of home shopper heartbreak by getting started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
If you want to add a unique and stunning feature to your home, decorative art glass can be used in a variety of ways to really increase its wow factor. Think of adding a wonderful work of stained glass art to some of your exterior windows, foyer, or front door entry. We can make sure the measurements fit spot on, and you don't even have to replace the glass. You can just add the art glass over the top. It will add some real ambiance that changes as the sun moves throughout the day. And a paint of protection too, which never hurts. Our decorative glass artists are delightful to work with, and they just might give you some ideas that you love, but never even thought of. There's so much of the same out there. Adding a customized work of stained glass art to one or more of your home's windows can really set it apart. This is Stacy Sinks with Les's Glass Service. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Les's Glass. Les's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lesglassservice.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Bucks are back with Giannis Antetokounmpo scoring 29 points and Damian Lillard putting up 28 in the Bucks' defeat of the Dallas Mavericks 132-117 on Saturday night. They get a break before heading to Atlanta to face the Hawks on Tuesday. In college hockey, the number one ranked Wisconsin women's hockey team keeps their standing after an 11-0 victory over Bemidji State in a Western Collegiate Hockey Association's first-round playoff game at LeBon Arena on Saturday. The Wisconsin men welcomed the U.S. Under-18 team to the Kohl Center for an exhibition game today. Puck drop is at 6 o'clock. Badger Sports Updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited, Siding, and a whole lot more. And the Badgers take on the Guardians today. They are currently 4-5 in Cactus League play. Our coverage starts at 1:55 right here on WTMJ. Taking a look at your roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. No incidents or slowdowns to report. Stay safe on the roads, everyone.
Traffic is sponsored by Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Design Exchange is where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Today, sunny and pleasant with a high of 35. Tonight, increasing clouds with a low of 26. For your Monday, increasing clouds again with a slight chance of rain, a high of 45. Tuesday, spotty showers in the morning, then cloudy, then a chance for afternoon rain with a high of 46. For Wednesday, that rain turns to snow with the possibility of slushy accumulation with a high of 44. Thursday, mostly sunny with a high of 40. Right now in Madison, it's 21 degrees. In Green Bay, it's 20. In Waukesha, it's 23. And in Milwaukee, it's mostly cloudy and 21 degrees. I'm Tiff Kula. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 9:10.
And it's so great to have Tiff here on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News. I'm Libby Collins. Coming up this half hour, I should say, we're going to be hearing about the 5th season in Wisconsin. We'll tell you about that shortly. But Tiff, I want to talk to you for a second. I know you are busy. You are one busy lady with Chris being on the air here and being our news director. But when you have some free time, do you ever watch any of the cooking shows, or are you into that at all?
Yeah, I live for cooking shows. I tell people that if I had, time and money were no option, my dream job is to direct for those cooking shows on the Food Network.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Who's your favorite?
I'm old school. I like Iron Chef, the original one, the Japanese version.
Wow.
With the original Chairman Kaga. Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Oh, okay. That's an exciting show. But do you know who Jacques Pepin is?
I do. The man is a legend, and he just had a big birthday.
Well, you know what? At the Pfister Hotel, they are going to be hosting a one-of-a-kind event honoring that legendary chef and cookbook author. And he's made an impact on thousands of people throughout the world. And joining us on our Siding Unlimited Talk and Text line is John Weiss. He is the Vice President of Food and Beverage at Marcus Hotels and Resorts. And John, tell us a little bit about Jacques Pepin.
Jacques Pepin is probably the most famous French chef working in America for the last 60 years. People don't know, but back in the 60s, when our country was still eating a lot of frozen TV dinners and dried herbs, there were 3 people really responsible for elevating our cuisine, and that was Julia Child, James Beard, and Jacques Pepin.
Well, he had such an impact. Isn't it true that the Kennedys wanted him to be the White House chef when he went into office in 1961?
100% true. He had previously been the personal chef to 2 presidents of France, so he really didn't want to get back into that game.
But again, he's had a tremendous impact on the culinary world. And a lot of chefs, even right here in Milwaukee, will point to him and say that something inspired them to prepare a particular dish.
I myself started out working in the back of the house. And Libby, I was not very good. But one thing gave me hope. He had written his book, La Méthode, and it was done so that anybody, it was step-by-step photos and pictures. It upped my game, too. I still decided to transfer into the front of the house. But he started, unlike Julia Child and James Beard, who were really journalists. They wrote books, they did TV. He was actually the one who worked in restaurants. But unfortunately, he had a serious accident almost lost his life, and he wasn't able to stand on his feet the way that so many chefs have to do. So he had to switch over and get into teaching and education. And now, even at 90, he still sends out videos that anybody can see on social media teaching us how to cook.
And this brings us to the foundation that he established, which really is there to help a lot of young people get involved in the food business, particularly being chefs. And that's part of what you're doing on March 24th at the celebration of his 90th birthday.
The foundation, I mean, their two missions really are, as you said, culinary education, but it's also community feeding. Providing food for people, who don't have other means. And so the foundation thought, well, the best way that we can celebrate this man's incredible legacy is to raise funds for his most cherished causes. I'm fortunate, and my team, some of us we've done 4 events with Jacques Pepin here in Milwaukee. We've brought him here over the years to do cookbook luncheons. And so I've gotten to know the man, and he's an amazing teacher and an amazing cook, but he's also an amazing humanitarian. So when they announced this, and this is a nationwide event, all the top restaurants in the country, all these people are holding events over the next year to celebrate his birthday and raise funds. And while I thought we could have done something small in, Mason Street Grill and maybe raise a few thousand, I thought let's be really collaborative. Let's get all the best chefs and people who've been influenced by Jacques from around the area, and let's raise a lot of money up on the 7th floor of the Pfister Hotel.
We're talking with John Weiss. He is Vice President of Food and Beverage at Marcus Hotels and Resorts, and we're talking about the Jacques Pepin 90th Birthday Gala taking place on Monday, March 24th. Now, tell us what exactly is going to go on that evening and who's involved.
Well, sure. Well, we wanted the best of the best, so I'm very pleased and happy that we have the 3 current working James Beard Award winners who are part of the committee and helped me put this together, and that's Adam Siegel at Loopy and Iris, Dane Baldwin at Diplomat, Justin Abrahamian at Sanford, and also our good friend Dan Jacobs, who was the Top Chef finalist. So they were like the committee that helped put together and select the chefs that are participating. So up on the 7th floor, each of these chefs will have a little station, a little booth, and each of them will providing one amazing dish that people can bite-size a couple bites so that they can try all 25 dishes and eat as much as they want. There's seating provided for everybody. There'll be an incredible silent auction with a lot of Jacques Pepin signed books and artwork because he's an artist as well. There'll be entertainment. There'll be amazing wine provided by Dow Winery and Paso Robles. And we'll also have the vice president of Dow, who's Marino Monferrato, whose side hustle, he's the maitre d' on Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen.
I imagine he is going to be a very popular person that everybody's going to want to meet.
We did an event with him out at Grand Geneva last summer. We did a mountaintop wine dinner, and that's how I got to meet him. He's a hoot. Let me tell you, Libby, he's got stories. He's a lot of fun to be around.
Well, I think the event is going to be so much fun on Monday, March 24th from 6:30 to 9 at the Pfister Grand Ballroom. How do we get tickets, John?
It's really easy. If you go to the Mason Street Grill website and you click on events, you'll see the link that'll take you right to the ticket page. There are 2 ticket prices. There's $135 for general admission, and again, there's seating for everybody. But for an extra $50 to help out the cause, you get early access to the event, and also you get reserved seating up front.
Oh, it sounds like it's going to be wonderful. It's going to be fun. And best of all, it's going to raise funds for the Jacques Pepin Foundation, which does so much good work. And John, I can't thank you enough for joining us today. It's a pleasure talking with you.
Very grateful that you're helping us out on this. And if people are looking for a great time to really taste amazing food and to actually meet the best chefs in Wisconsin, this is a great way to do it.
Thanks again, John Weiss from Marcus Hotels and Resorts. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much.
And it's 9:17, and if you are into sports, you like jazz, it's Sports Jazz coming up in just a couple of minutes on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News.
Are you looking for a new car or truck? Well, good news. Inventories have really improved lately, and I have a few ideas to help you find the vehicle of your dreams. I'm Jim Token, president of Adam, the Auto Dealers Association of Metro Milwaukee. The first step to getting that car of your dreams is to visit any of the 115 Adam member dealerships where you can see their selection in person and take test drives. You can also find out about the new cars they have on order and reserve the one you want. Or if you really want to get the exact car you're dreaming of, they can order it for you. It might take a few weeks for delivery, but hey, wouldn't it be nice to have the perfect vehicle built just for you? This is your chance. Plus, if you're thinking of trading in your current car or ending your lease early, you'll be amazed at what dealers are offering. And if you prefer to handle the negotiations and paperwork remotely, no problem. Most Adam dealers will even bring cars to you for test drives. So don't wait. Start your search now. Find an Adam member dealer near you at adamm.com.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano talking with Dr. Mike Nolte at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Doc, a lot of people are hesitant to visit a surgeon for spine care.
The good news is that the vast majority of patients that I see and the majority of conditions that I can see can be successfully treated without surgery. And I don't want patients to think that just because you're seeing a spine surgeon means that you're going to be signing up for surgery. We talk about, in my clinic, kind of a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C.
Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. orthowisconsin.com.
Finding the special healthcare resources families need just got easier. Wisconsin Wayfinder Children's Resource Network helps kids with delays, disabilities, special healthcare needs, and mental health conditions. Call toll-free 877-947-2929. Ask questions. Get answers. Connect today toll-free 877-947-2929. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
It was nothing but win, 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 win in Milwaukee sports yesterday. That's right, 4 wins for Milwaukee teams. Brewer spring training in Arizona against the Texas Rangers ended with a staggering score of 9-5. And that all started with a 3-run homer from Bryce Terang.
Walker at the belt, and his pitch, a fly ball into center. Backing up Evan Carter, he's still drifting onto the warning track, over the wall and gone.
Jeff Levering on the call right here on WTMJ. The Brewers take on the Cleveland Guardians next. Our Brewers Radio Network coverage starts today at 2. But the Brew Crew wasn't the only team to get a W from a DFW team. Last night, the Bucks took the American Airlines Center by storm, beating the Mavericks 132-117. Teamwork makes the dream work, says Bucks head coach Doc Rivers.
We're coming together as a team, and we're just playing better basketball. And we're doing things you have to do on the road, taking care of the ball, not fouling too much, rebounding, executing on offense. You have to do that on the road or you lose games, and we're starting to do that.
The Bucks are number 4 in the Eastern Conference, 10 games behind the Knicks, and are in Atlanta on Tuesday. Meanwhile, on the college basketball scene, as the season winds down, Marquette Golden Eagles men's basketball team beats Georgetown 76-61. The women's team takes on UConn later today. And the UW-Milwaukee Panthers finish their season against Detroit Mercy 89-67. They get the 3 seed with a bye and will face the highest winning seed in the Horizon League quarterfinals on Thursday. The women's team will get the 11th seed on Tuesday against Detroit Mercy. In Madison, number 11 ranked men's basketball Badgers take on Michigan State in East Lansing today. Women's finish up their season in Iowa. Badger Sports Updates, sponsored by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more. Jocelyn Snell, WTMJ Sports.
Thanks a lot, Jazz. It's 9:21. We are up to 24 degrees. I'll have your forecast right after this on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News.
Warmer temps are on the way. It's time for the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin Spring Home Improvement Showcase on WTMJ. Get all the tips, tricks, and best practices to improve your home with our trusted partners, including Kohler Services, Yutka Fence, and Ridgetop Exteriors. So be listening for all of our interviews coming up on the air. Plus, we'll post everything for you. You can listen anytime at WTMJ.com. It's the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin Spring Home Improvement Showcase, only here on WTMJ.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde for Excel Custom Decks. I at least like to think I'm an expert when it comes to football, but I know Excel are truly experts when it comes to the art of deck building. With the finest materials and products combined with their superior craftsmanship, they'll deliver exceptional quality and value on everything from backyard decks to pergolas and outdoor kitchens. If you can dream it, Rob and his family can build it. Family-owned Excel Custom Decks delivers decking excellence by design. Visit excelcustomdecks.com to learn more.
If you're living with joint pain in your shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees, and you have Medicare or Medicaid insurance, coming to Rejuvenex to solve your pain problems is something you should strongly consider. First off, because our FDA-approved pain treatments have been shown in many cases to be highly effective at reducing inflammation and substantially alleviating pain. Secondly, Medicare and Medicaid cover Rejuvenex treatments, so your cost could be nothing, or next to nothing at all. Chronic pain will only worsen with age. This leads to a far more compromised lifestyle, depression, and soon they start talking surgery. And then what? You have to get in front of arthritis and chronic pain, because the sooner you do, by letting us begin to calm those pain points, the better. I'm Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas, and we can alleviate your pain so you can rejuvenate your life. Go to rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. Have you been to the Hounds and Tap yet? In Menominee Falls, this state-of-the-art facility and the ultimate hangout for hounds and humans. Grab a drink at the indoor-outdoor tavern, let your dogs hang out. You can even book professional grooming services, from pedicures to full spa treatments. Every day is a play day at the Hounds and Tap. Hang out with your dog and others, or drop your dog off for doggy daycare or doggy boarding services. Check out thehoundsandtap.com. That's thehoundsandtap.com.
It's going to be sunny and pleasant today. We're going to get up to 35 degrees. Then tomorrow we warm into the 40s, 45 for a high. We've got a slight chance of rain that's going to continue into Tuesday when our high temperature is 46. Get a high temperature on Wednesday of 44, but then that temperature is going to be dropping by late in the afternoon, and that rain might turn to snow with a minor slushy accumulation. Right now in Elkhart Lake, we've got 21 degrees. Delafield's at 22. Looks like Port Washington has 23, and it's 23 degrees at 9:24 on WTMJ.
The following is a paid presentation. Advice and opinions expressed during the Sunday Sip are solely that of the hosts or guests, and not WTMJ Radio or Good Karma Brands Milwaukee, LLC.
This is the Sunday Sip, and I'm John Mercure. Excited to be joined by Ray Walker. He's one of the owners of Great Impressions. Ray, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
I want to start with having you tell us about Great Impressions. If someone's never heard of the company, tell us what your company does and what you're all about.
Thanks. Good question. So when the name Great Impressions comes about, I'd want you to think of your traditional printing, anything from business cards, letterhead, envelopes, to large format printing, your banners, retractable banners. And then we have a full catalog of apparel. So, those branded polos, hats, jackets, all the way down to promotional items. So those cool tumbler cups, those pins, those things you see at events with your branding on it.
So you're wearing something that has your branding on it. The colors are vibrant, it's crisp, it's clear. Is this the sort of thing you do? All the colors are incredible on that hoodie that you're wearing.
I appreciate you noticing. Yes, this is one of our Black History Month designs, but was printed right on our direct-to-film printer. And we do this quite a bit every day.
It's beautiful. Ray Walker's with us, and we're talking about Great Impressions. This is a competitive space. You know that better than I do.
Yes, sir.
What inspired you to start the business and to get in this line of work?
So my mother was actually the spearhead, the pioneer of Great Impressions. And it was pretty simple. She used to work for a graphics and printing company, decided she wanted to earn some more time back for herself, spend some time with her family, her kids. So she decided to open up Great Impressions 26 years ago.
Dang. And so now you're a part of it. Now you're going big guns.
Going all in. I left my corporate job 2 years ago. So
that's brave, man. That is really brave.
Yeah.
How do you keep up with the trends? Because things are changing. Technology changes, colors and patterns change. How do you keep up with the trends?
So another great question, as a lot of people hear the word AI, they have mixed feelings about that. But, we embrace change. With AI, it's allowed us to do things like photo enhancements, take a photo, maybe a person doesn't have an arm, and it'll draw an arm on there.
Wow.
So, really cool things that people may have some old, dusty photos that they want us to scan in and place on a garment or something like that. And it's allowed us to really do some cool things.
Ray Walker's with us. I'm glad you brought up AI because I wanted to ask you about that. A lot of people get nervous. They worry about job security. They worry about, oh my gosh, can a robot or intelligent technology really help us, but you've learned to embrace it. How important is it that you embrace those different trends and you embrace what's happening out there?
I think it's extremely important. Those that are slow to adapt tend to, be behind the curve. If we look at people like a Blockbuster, when was it Redbox came out with the DVDs, they slowly just stayed with those hard format, come in, rent a DVD from me, and you see where they are now. But it's just really important to learn to use this change as a tool as opposed to a weapon.
Yeah, to adapt. I like the way you put that. How do you connect with the community? I know that's important to you.
So a lot of times when people hear Great Impressions, they do know us for the memorial side of our business. We do a lot of obituaries, and that's something we take pride in, being able to celebrate and remember a loved one's life. But we understand also that can be a tough time for a family, so we also take pride in just making that an easy part of the planning, making that something you don't really have to worry about, and we really guide you and hold your hand through the process.
Great Impressions owner Ray Walker is with us on the Sunday Sip. What's been your primary goal in recent years as a business guy?
Another good question. So since I moved back to the city in 2020, I was away in Florida for many years for undergrad and graduate school, and then I continued on working my corporate job. But since moving back, I know that a lot of people do recognize us for Memorial, so I intentionally try to increase people's awareness of the things we do. If you ever interact with me in the lobby, you'll commonly hear me say, keep us in mind for the fun stuff. We do graduations, we do baby showers, family reunions, those fun times when people are getting together and creating good memories. We like to, be there for that. Even if you're opening a new business, designing that logo, you need those business cards, letterhead, you name it. So
you raise such a good point, Ray, because you're there to document people's lives, their milestones in their lives. You're like a front row seat to the history of families. How cool is it to be part of what they're creating and doing?
It is very cool. And I like to use a lot the word privilege. It's truly a privilege that people trust us and allow us to be on that journey with them.
Ray Walker is the co-owner of Great Impressions. What's the website, Ray, if people want more information?
You can find us at www.greatimpress.com. So that's www.greatimpress.com.
It's a cool website. You'll be blown away. It's greatimpress.com. Ray Walker III, one of the co-owners of Great Impressions. Ray, thank you so much for spending time with us on the Sunday Sip.
Thanks, John.
It's 9:29, 24 degrees on WTMJ. In 2 minutes, we've got news with Tipua on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News.
Look what I found.
What is it?
It's a list of the traditional and modern anniversary gifts for each year of marriage.
Sarah and I use a different list. But go ahead and tell us about yours.
The traditional gift for your first anniversary is paper, but the modern gift is a clock.
Well, our list says the first anniversary is always diamond jewelry.
What's your list called?
The People's Choice.
The traditional gift for your 6th anniversary is iron, but the modern gift is wood.
What a coincidence. For the 6th anniversary, our list says diamonds again. What do you have for the 10th anniversary, Rick?
Traditional is aluminum, modern is diamond jewelry.
Well, there you go. Our lists agree. What have you got for the 7th anniversary?
Copper and a desk set.
Nope. Diamonds again.
I'm beginning to see the wisdom of the People's Choice list.
It's good to have you on board.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Did you make up that People's Choice list, or is it real?
Well, we're people, aren't we?
Find the Kesslers nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
If you're a woman looking to take control of your financial future, you are not alone. Women are leading the way in business and managing household finances, but challenges still exist. That's why Annex Wealth Management presents the Women in Wealth series every third Thursday. It'll empower you with knowledge and resources to succeed. Join us for collaborative discussions, community building, and learn about key areas of financial planning. Women in Wealth events are free every third Thursday. Sign up at annexwealth.com/events and bring a friend.
Plug into powerful savings with CeroWire products at Menards. CeroWire is an American-owned leading manufacturer of building wire for residential, commercial, and industrial applications. Menards stocks convenient, pre-cut lengths of wire and cable products for all of your indoor and outdoor projects. Hurry in now and save big money on CeroWire at Menards. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money.
money at Menards.
It's 9:32, and it was a violent night in Milwaukee, and we've got Tiff Pua in the WTMJ Breaking News Center to tell us all about it. Tiff?
Thanks, Libby. Three people are injured after two separate shootings overnight in Milwaukee. The first happened just after 12:30 this morning near 12th and North on Milwaukee's north side. A 26-year-old was taken to the hospital with gunshot wounds. The second happened around 1:45 this morning near Appleton and 91st by Timmerman Airport. A 35-year-old and 37-year-old were also taken to the hospital with injuries. Police are looking for unknown suspects in both shootings. A former Racine County Sheriff's deputy gets prison time for child pornography and bestiality. A 38-year-old Preston Kite of Union Grove was sentenced to 65 years for 45 felony counts of child sexual exploitation, exposing himself to a child, possession of child pornography, and bestiality across 2 cases in Racine County. Kite was arrested February 4th after a 911 call that he was exposing himself to someone in a Racine County truck stop bathroom. He was on duty and in uniform at the time. He was eventually fired. Former Outagamie County Human Resource Department's Adam Westbrook was also sentenced to 12 years in federal prison for distributing child pornography related to this case. And it will be more expensive to attend a Green Bay Packers game this year. The organization is raising ticket prices between $7 and $21 for regular season games. For package owners, the cost will increase from $903 to $1,275 depending on the seat location. The NFL will release its regular season schedule in early May after the Players' Draft, which will be held between April 24th and 26th in Green Bay. Payment for season ticket holders is due to the Packers ticket office by March 28th. Taking a look at your roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. No incidents or issues to report on the roads. Stay safe out there, everyone.
Traffic is sponsored by the famous Fox & Hounds restaurant near Holy Hill.
Buy one dinner, get one free tonight at the historic Fox & Hounds Supper Club, including steak and lobster. And desserts are buy one, get one free. Tables are open, foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast today. Sunny and pleasant with a high of 35. Tonight, increasing clouds with a low of 26. For your Monday, increasing clouds with a slight chance of rain, a high of 45. Tuesday, spotty showers in the morning, then cloudy, then a chance of afternoon rain with a high of 46. Thursday, that rain turns to snow with a possibility of slushy accumulation, a high of 44. And Thursday, mostly sunny with a high of 40. Right now in Kohler, it's 24. In East Troy, it's 25. And in Milwaukee, it's mostly cloudy with a high of 23. I'm Tiff Pua. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 9:35.
Hey, Tiff. How
Yes,
many
ma'am.
seasons are there?
I think, well, in Wisconsin, winter, summer, spring, construction.
I like that. But guess what? There's a 5th season.
What?
Yes. And we're going to tell you what it is right after this on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News.
Artwork, especially original artwork, can be pricey. But when you take it in on consignment from nice people like you who are just ready to change the look of their home, you can price it right. And you'll find a lot of it at Design Exchange. Beautiful frame pieces by a number of notable artists. And new ones pop in all the time. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Now these tend to fly off the shelves. But don't worry, because our connection supplies us with a lot of them. Vintage ceiling tiles from once great old buildings in New York City that make for ultra-unique artwork. These items are definitely hard to find from anywhere else around here. So come take a look, and you'll probably find a treasure. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
This change has leveled us up while being able to maintain the same quality of service that we've always provided, with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission. We're proud to be part of the Century 21 family, so you can move fearlessly with the added confidence of top-of-the-line marketing for maximum home exposure. And that means more eyeballs and the real potential for the highest price for your home. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. First off, our 1.9% commission structure helps get their foot in the door, and that's why agents like working here. But what they really like is having the strongest marketing tools available, with the resources to help them sell homes at the highest prices to satisfy their clients. Century 21 Benefit Realty offers what agents like most, and that's to help them be successful. If you really want to believe in the business model that you're representing, give me a call. I'm Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty. Call me, and let's talk about your future. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Oh, welcome back. I'm Libby Collins on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News. Well, you know, we know about the 4 seasons: winter, spring, summer, and autumn. But are you aware that here in Wisconsin, there's a 5th season? Well, joining us on our Signing Unlimited talk and text line is John Makowski. He's Executive Director at River Edge Nature Center. And John, tell us what's going on at River Edge over the next couple weeks.
Mid-February through about end of March these days, we're tapping trees at River Edge Nature Center. We're able to tap about 400 trees and make some delicious maple syrup from that sap and use it as an opportunity to really teach community and introduce people of all ages to this wonderful process.
Now, I understand on Saturday, March 15th, you have a special event going on where we can do just that. We can try some of the things you make from all of that maple sugar.
Oh, absolutely. We're so happy and appreciative for Cole's Healthy Families and our presenting sponsor, C.G. Schmidt, to be able to host an afternoon from 12 to 4 p.m. on Saturday, March 15th, where folks can come out to learn how we make maple syrup, how we tap trees, a demonstration of our evaporator, spend some quality time outside, but most importantly, get a chance to sample some of that freshly made maple syrup on a pancake with a pickle.
All right, so did you say a pancake with a pickle?
You heard me right. I said a pancake with a pickle. That little bit of contrast in flavor is just something we've been doing for a while. It is a memorable moment for many.
I imagine it's memorable. I don't know if I'm going to like the memory or not. But John, tell us, how do you tap a maple tree?
Well, I want to highlight first that we're really careful with our trees. We don't do this for production. We do this for education. So we wait till trees are at least approximately 25 years old. Each tree just gets one tap that we're really careful in terms of rotating year to year to give that tree a lot of chance to heal and continue to be strong. We collect that sap throughout the season. It's mostly water, sugar, and some trace elements when it's coming out of the tree. But then that sap is collected and hauled to where it's stored until we have enough to actually cook or boil down. We have a wonderful evaporator that really kind of expedites the process to remove a lot of that water from the sap and leave that nice, sticky, brown maple syrup that we're all so appreciative for and look forward to enjoying.
How much sap does it take to make a gallon of maple syrup?
Approximately 40 gallons of sap, depending upon the sugar content that that tree is able to offer. So there's a lot of hard work that goes into making maple syrup. It's absolutely something we look forward to sharing with others, but we as a nonprofit couldn't do this without the help of a lot of volunteers. That's just a lot of tapping and hauling and hours on the evaporator that we're very, very grateful for their help in allowing us to be able to do and share this with others.
Now, you mentioned maple syrup on a pancake with a pickle. I understand you also are going to be serving maple sap tea.
That sap tea might be something that I would really encourage people to try. That's actually, if you just think of how we brew tea by boiling water, in this situation, rather than water, we're using some of that fresh maple sap, which has just a little hint of sweetness in it before you boil it down into syrup. But that's the stock we use, if you will, to make tea at that event.
Well, tell us again, how do we get there and how do we get tickets for it? Is there an admission?
Tickets are really family-friendly priced, I hope, at $5 due to the wonderful sponsorship that we have for this event. People can purchase tickets online at riveredgenaturecenter.org. We're located in Saukville on the Milwaukee River, about 30 minutes north of Milwaukee. So we're a little bit of a trek, but I assure people it's worth the ride. We have 480 85 wonderful acres for people to explore the natural world on. And this event is something we really are excited to have seen grown significantly, and we get people from throughout southeastern Wisconsin. Once again, riveredgenaturecenter.org is the place to get tickets. March 15th from 12 to 4 is the event. If this event didn't happen to work for somebody, I really encourage people to check us out on that website and maybe find an event that better fits your interest or schedule.
Well, I'm sure we will, and let's hope for great weather on the 15th. John Rakowski, Executive Director at River Edge Nature Center. So nice to talk with you today.
Thank you so much once again. Enjoy your day and enjoy maple sugar in season, everybody.
Pancakes with maple syrup and a pickle. Sounds like something you'd only get in Wisconsin. All right, it's 9:42. We've got 24 degrees. And coming up in just a couple of minutes, this is a very serious conversation today. But if there is someone in your family who is suffering from dementia, you'll want to hear this. And we'll tell you all about it right after this on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for Landworks. Take a look outside and imagine the yard of your dreams. What do you see out there? Thriving plant life, immaculately edged beds, beautiful, healthy blooms. I got this at my place. It's thanks to Landworks. Take the guesswork out of your green space with landscape services from a good local company, Landworks. Their personalized landscaping plans are carefully designed to make your property shine throughout the season. Plan it now. Now's the time to contact Landworks today. The teams I trust in my yard. Landworks, Wisconsin.
Panic strikes as you realize on Wednesday that Thursday is your anniversary. The reservations being secured.
We'll see you at 8.
The gift being purchased. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with early pay up to 2 days early on direct deposits. So even though they call you Last Minute Lisa, we'll make your last minute scrambling a bit easier. You've got this with early pay from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
So how would I describe our people? I'd say the people we set out to hire have to be smart, hardworking, and honest. Honesty being paramount of the three. Because honesty breeds integrity. And when you have integrity, you won't let yourself do anything less than your best. And that's who we're looking for. Character counts here, and integrity matters. And that's why it's easy for us to offer the industry's best lifetime workmanship warranty with every roof we sell. A rock-solid warranty like ours guarantees our reputation and assures your satisfaction. At Semper Fi, we do the right thing. We seize the moral high ground, and we hold it. And when you do that, you end up having a business that's going to last for generations. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
It was nothing but win in Milwaukee sports yesterday. That's right, 4 wins for Milwaukee teams. Brewers spring training in Arizona against the Texas Rangers ended with a staggering score of 9-5. The Brewers take on the Cleveland Guardians next. Our Brewers Radio Network coverage starts today at 2. But the Brew Crew weren't the only Milwaukee team to get a W from a DFW team. Last night, the Bucks took on the American Airlines Center by storm, beating the Mavericks 132-117. The Bucks are number 4 in the Eastern Conference, 10 games behind the Knicks, and are in Atlanta on Tuesday. Meanwhile, on the college basketball scene, as the season winds down, Marquette Golden Eagles basketball beats Georgetown 76-61. The women's team takes on UConn later today. The UW-Milwaukee Panthers finished their season against Detroit Mercy 89-67, and to get the 3 seed with a bye, and will face the highest winning seed in Horizon League quarterfinals on Thursday. Women's team will get the 11th seed on Tuesday against Detroit Mercy. And in Madison, number 11 ranked Badgers men's basketball team takes on Michigan State in East Lansing today. Women's finish up their season in Iowa. Badger Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more. Jaslyn Snell, WTMJ Sports.
Thanks a lot, Jazz. And coming up in just a minute, we're going to tell you about a groundbreaking study on aging right here on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News.
Whether it's 24/7 emergency service or it's just time to replace your furnace, at Quality we'll be out so fast you won't even notice the heat being off. And if you're buying a high-efficiency furnace from Armstrong or Carrier, you'll qualify for state and federal tax rebates that'll pay for a big chunk of the cost. This is Anthony Zanevsky from Quality, where you'll get the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality for the signature service.
Quality, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. If you like being prepared like I do, you know the value of a generator. When the power goes out, it's a terrible inconvenience. And that's why Quality installs effortless whole home generators that give you power when everybody else's is out. This is Anthony Zanevsky from Quality, where you'll get the signature service you deserve and whole home generators that make power outage fears subside.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
It's 9:47. There was a groundbreaking study that began in 1986. It involved the School Sisters of Notre Dame. You probably are familiar with them. They've had a huge presence in the greater Milwaukee area for 150 years. And the School Sisters volunteered to be a part of this study because they wanted to find out who would be more inclined to develop dementia. And I spoke with medical doctor Sister Charlene Zizet about why the nuns were the ideal participants.
What exactly was the objective of that study?
Initially, it was a study of aging, and it kind of kept evolving. There was another researcher that Dr. Snowden worked with, and he had been trying to do studies where he would enroll people from dementia clinics. So you have a skewed population in that there were no normal brains, and he said it would be great if we could have more people willing to donate their brains. And Dr. Snowden said, I think I know a group that might be willing to do that.
Now, are there ways to predict if someone is more prone to dementia than others? I asked Sister Charlene about what was examined in that decades-long nun study.
What were some of the other evaluations? I mean, how often were the sisters studied? What was the protocol?
Dr. Snowden and his other doctors that worked with him in the research felt that the sisters would be more comfortable if our sisters did the assessments. So they taught two of our sisters how to do all the different tests that they submitted the members to each time that they had an assessment. They did physical assessments, so like activities of daily living. Grip strength seemed to be important to follow. They thought that was important. And then there would be cognitive tests.
And the nun study of aging and Alzheimer's disease began all the way back in the 80s, when 678 Catholic sisters ranging from 75 to 107 years old volunteered to be part of that study until the time of their death. Now, all of those participants were members of the School Sisters of Notre Dame, who have served the Milwaukee area since 1855. And if you want to hear that entire conversation, I'm going to be speaking with Sister Charlene Zizet about the findings this morning at 11 on WTMJ Conversations. It's 9:50. We have 25 degrees at WTMJ.
We get it. You're on the go, and life gets in the way. Stay up to date on all things WTMJ with podcasts of every show. Available on WTMJ.com. And don't forget you can stream WTMJ online and watch your favorite WTMJ shows on YouTube. Every show, when you want it, no matter where you are. We are Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio 620 WTMJ.
With the help of Less's Glass, you can have the shower you've always wanted. Heavy glass shower enclosures from Less's Glass are installed by the best in the business. And when you have a showroom to visit with over a dozen glass shower enclosures on display, there's no guessing games. See the ultimate in frameless shower design with doors mounted on smooth as silk, stainless steel barn-style rollers. This design combines the beauty and elegance of heavy glass with a minimalist look to create an ideal shower enclosure for tight spaces. Premium shower doors and custom-designed all-glass enclosures. When you work with Less's Glass, you're working with a company that really can do it all. This is Stacy Sinks with Less's Glass Service. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Less's Glass. Less's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lastglassservice.com.
Hi, folks. This is Hank Albert, owner of BBC Lighting. At BBC, we sell all the top brands of lights and ceiling fans, such as Visual Comfort, Tech, Schoenbeck Crystal, and hundreds more. We get every brand, and our prices are the lowest. I guarantee it. In our award-winning showroom, you'll also find factory closeouts with lights and fans priced well below their original cost. If it's lampshades or repairs you need, we do all that too. There's something for everyone at BBC, including fun for the kids and our famous free popcorn. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday, 10 to 4, and located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue, across from Sobelman's, near the Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
This past week, Wisconsin's Afternoon News celebrated Black Wisconsinites. And John McCure introduced us to Al Flowers, a decorated combat veteran who's dedicated his life to helping other veterans.
The year was 1968. Al Flowers was just a boy when he went off to war. He was trying to escape the housing projects of Chicago when the Marines caught his eye.
I liked the Marine Corps dress blue uniform. I was 17 years old. I didn't know much else about that kind of thing. I knew this would get me away from the danger of the streets of Chicago. Little did I know that things would get considerably more dangerous down the road.
He was sent to Vietnam as part of a 7-man reconnaissance team. Huey helicopters would drop the team deep in the heart of the jungle.
We were the guys that had the light green and dark green camouflage on our face. We walked around slow and, clandestine kind of operations. Our job was not to engage the enemy, but to gather troop strength and intelligence on enemy troop strength and movements. But, of course, if we had an opportunity to take players off the field, we would do that. It was terrifying. I remember the first time, we could only carry so much equipment because we were to be out there 7 days. So we had to have water, food, ammunition. I had the radio, extra batteries. I remember I shot every round I had. I was just scared to death. We shooting at them. And then once we fire our weapon, our mission is over. We're calling to be extracted. We always had pre-assigned extraction points. So when the enemy were to find out we were there, we had to try to hold off the enemy, know where the nearest friendlies were, and then go to our extraction point where the helicopters would come in. They'd drop a 100-foot rope ladder. Maybe 50 feet of it would be on the ground. We'd lay down, tie on the rope ladder. I'd pop a smoke grenade, and off we'd go. So, but I learned later that you never fire your last round. They told us, you never fire your last round. Use your last round to avoid being captured.
Many of Al's closest buddies never made it home.
Some of the best friends I've ever had in my life. Many people, much better men than me. You just never forget about that kind of thing.
He vowed to honor his combat brothers by dedicating his life to caring for veterans. He founded the Wisconsin chapter of the Vietnam Veterans of America and has been in veteran services for more than 40 years.
Very often they come back from combat or any kind of deployment, and they don't know about how to navigate the Veterans Administration. It's a large organization, so the Vietnam Veterans of America would help link veterans together and help guide them to the application process.
Al began to realize he was battling many of the same demons he was helping others fight. He has PTSD and survivor's guilt. It all came into sharp focus a few years ago on a Stars and Stripes honor flight.
Honor flight provides an opportunity for them to see other veterans struggling with the same issues, and it just begins the healing process. I know it did for me, and I know it does for, I'm talking to dozens of veterans that have taken an honor flight, and they tell me the same thing. The best day of their life, they felt very respected. And as I said, the gift that keeps on giving, they continue, the healing continues. It just doesn't happen in one day, but that is a big jump start at beginning to heal from the process of war and combat.
Al told me the other thing that's healing is when young Americans comment on his Marine hat or honor flight jacket.
We just want people not to forget us, not to forget what I've done. When I talk to older veterans, older than me, they say, we just want people to know what we've done. Because you go and do the war and you come back, and the world is, you just got to acclimate to the world again. But if people would respect them, would honor them, we don't have to do everybody, raise the flag every day, but say thank you for your service. That is some powerful words. People don't know that. Think it's just trivial. It really isn't. Veterans really appreciate that. I appreciate your service. I have to do anything else. And that has a healing effect on veterans.
Semper Fi to Al Flowers. What an amazing man and a very moving story. Thank you, John McCure, for putting that all together. I'm Libby Collins. It's been a great morning. Thanks for joining us. Coming up after the news, it's the Accident Mortgage and Realty Show with Brian and Tim Wickert. And then I'm going to be back at 11 talking with Sister Charlene Zizet about the nun study. You don't want to miss it. Right here on WTMJ.
New treatments for joint pain are here. By now, you've heard about regenerative medicine. If you're wondering if you're a good candidate, answer these questions. First, does chronic pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or other joints keep you from doing the things you enjoy? Golfing, jogging, time with the family. Does it hurt doing the things you need to do, like getting out of bed, sleeping, working, and walking? And finally, do you want to avoid surgery and all of the pain, long recovery, and uncertainty that comes with it? If you answered yes to any of those, you need to call QC Kinetics now. Learn about exciting advancements in regenerative treatments that can give you long-lasting pain relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. Get your free consultation today.